Coming up, video shows a mother and son attacked walking home from school. A woman gives birth minutes after being discharged from the hospital. A woman set on fire on the CTA and fighting for her life. Plus, a prostitution sting near the airport. The Bears get set to take on Aaron Rodgers. And an unusual animal at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. This is your Fox Chicago Week in Review.
And community members, as you mentioned, they want answers. Now, Mayor Brandon Johnson and other elected officials tonight are condemning the attack as well, calling it deeply disturbing. And we need to warn you, it is heartbreaking to watch this video. It happened yesterday, shortly after school dismissal, and we have blurred and frozen the video before things escalate. Chicago police are now investigating after a 33-year-old mother named Korshonda and her 9-year-old son were viciously attacked near 106th and Bensley. Her young daughter was also there. The terrifying incident unfolded just a couple blocks away from Orville Elementary School, where the boy is a student. Korshonda says they were walking home when a group of kids began following them, then started punching and kicking the mother and son.
They fought my son, they hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair. I'm trying to get justice for my son. I'm thankful for everybody that came out here today to support me.
Community members rallied outside the school today with the boys' parents calling for justice. Korshonda says her son has been bullied at Bright and claims the administration isn't doing enough to protect him. We have Chicago Public Schools' response, but first, a local rapper, Lil Zay Osama, is now coming forward to help. He says he wants to fly the mom and son to LA for dinner and Christmas shopping and has a message for other children listening.
It's just something that shouldn't be going on. Kids should be able to go to school and be comfortable walking home from school and at school learning, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids at that age should not be doing things like that, especially to an adult and to their peers that go to school with them. That's crazy. That shouldn't be happening in our community. We got to do better.
A CPS spokesperson tells us in part, we are horrified by the attack on this family, and we are working collaboratively with city departments and agencies to provide support to the victims. CPS is coordinating closely with the mayor's office, CPD, CHA, and other city departments to provide additional support to the family. In his statement, Mayor Brandon Johnson also said that we cannot normalize this type of behavior. There was an increased police presence near the school today.
The Wells family says the experience was traumatic, discriminatory, and dangerous. And tonight they are calling for Franciscan Health Crown Point to make some serious changes.
Yes, she's talking about my uterus.
Mercedes and Leon Wells said they did everything right, calling ahead, arriving at Franciscan Health Crown Point. But after 6 hours of labor, the mom-to-be says she was given the boot. Mercedes says contractions grew just 1 minute apart, but instead of treatment, they say they discharged her while she was in active labor.
I just don't understand how, as a licensed healthcare worker, you could turn someone to the door to leave that's in excruciating pain. It's essentially like I was stripped of my dignity. I was stripped of my dignity as a person because I was treated less than an animal.
8 minutes after leaving the hospital, the couple says their worst fear became reality. On the highway, Mercedes felt the baby coming. Their daughter, Alina, was born on the side of the road, delivered by her father.
Mentally messed up because as a husband, as a father, protector, I felt like I couldn't do nothing. The nurse that wheeled us down, we had 2 nurses and a security guard because they just knew we was going to just act up.
Franciscan Health Crown Point declined to speak on camera, but in a statement said patient health is its top priority and that it has launched an internal investigation. The Wells family believes race played a role in how they were treated, and they've hired attorney Cannon Lambert, who is demanding action.
Accountability does look like a meeting with the family. We're calling for a meeting with the administrators at Franciscan. Accountability looks like making certain that the woman that made the decision to kick her out of this hospital doesn't work there anymore. She shouldn't work there anymore.
Emergency medicine experts say federal law EMTALA requires hospitals to screen and stabilize patients in labor before discharging them.
Or the Emergency Medicine Treatment Labor Act. And this is a federal law in 1986, which all hospitals must comply. And that's two aspects of the EMTALA. That's we provide a screening and stabilization. And so that goes into question when you look at this video as it applies to stabilization. But again, this is not common practice.
More women are turning to doulas. Do you think that more Black women are leaning towards doulas because they've heard of these traumatic experiences within a hospital setting?
Absolutely.
As concerns about safety and mistreatment during childbirth grow, a study in the Journal of Perinatal Education found 73% of pregnant women would hire a doula if insurance helped cover the cost, and half would if it counted toward their deductible. Licensed doula Marnisha Heiner says the rising demand reflects a need for someone focused solely on a mother's well-being as stories of denied care and disparities continue to surface.
People are scared. More so women, our people feel like hospitals are not a safe space for them. So I feel like when you're hiring a doula, you trust that person to carry what you cannot carry in a very traumatic, fast-pacing experience. So the doula is there to provide educational support, physical support, and evidence-based information.
Despite making her grand debut on the side of the road mid-drive, baby Alina is doing just fine. Tia Ewing.
50-year-old Lawrence Reed appeared before a judge earlier today. Our Leslie Moreno is live with the shocking details that led to the terrifying attack. Leslie.
Guys, good evening. Yeah, federal prosecutors say Reed had an extensive criminal history dating back as far as 2017. Prosecutors say Reed should have never been out of custody. 26-year-old woman is still in the hospital fighting for her life after police say 50-year-old Lawrence Reed allegedly set her on fire while riding the train on Monday.
I'm getting multiple calls for, the Blue Line Clark and Lake. Says a female was set on fire at the location.
The U.S. Attorney's Office announced Reed is being charged with committing a terrorist attack against a mass transportation system. According to the criminal complaint, Reed allegedly poured gasoline over the woman's head and body.
He was literally sitting down. I've seen reports that there was an altercation or that there was some kind of a disagreement or argument that took place. Those statements are inaccurate and false. She was on her phone.
The woman, fully engulfed in flames, managed to run off the train. Investigators say Reed bought gasoline at a Chicago gas station about 20 minutes before the attack. Prosecutors say Reed has an extensive criminal history. He was previously charged in 2020 in connection with the fire at the Thompson Center.
Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets given his violent criminal history and his pending criminal cases. Reed had plenty of second chances by the criminal justice system, and as a result, you have an innocent victim in the hospital fighting for her life. Because of the swift action of CPD, ATF, and our law enforcement partners, there will be no other chances for Mr. Reed.
Prosecutors say Reed faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. That 26-year-old woman remains in the hospital tonight in critical condition.
While CPS settled for $1.1 million with a former student over the summer, that man who wishes to remain anonymous and who we are calling John Doe says he feels it is time to come forward. He says he wants accountability and hopes to inspire others. We've reached out to the accused PE teacher, who we are told no longer works for CPS, and his attorney, but have not yet heard back. According to a civil complaint filed last year, John Doe says he was abused by Isaac Vega sexually, physically, and mentally beginning in the mid-90s. Doe went to Carl von Linne Elementary School on the city's northwest side, and that's when documents allege Vega started grooming the boy. At the same time, he was in 6th grade and tells us that he and his family were vulnerable. The complaint goes on to say that Vega gained the boy's trust, and roughly 1 year later, the abuse started.
My mom was extremely ill. My father passed at a very young age. We had no father figure in our life, no guidance. My mom could not raise 2 boys on her own, and he saw an opportunity to take advantage, and he did. He then 10 times did even more with the verbal, the mental, the physical abuse, the threats that became reality. When I look back at everything that happened in those 5, 6, 7 years, there's no reason why this man should be walking the streets freely.
An assignment hearing in the civil case against Vega is scheduled for December 1st. John Doe's attorney, Mark Brown, says Doe was manipulated and states in court documents that the abuse lasted for roughly 5 years. He says part of why his client wanted to come forward was to prevent this from happening again.
That concern is one of the reasons why we're going to trial against him, is so that he will be exposed and maybe someone else in the future will be prevented from going through what our client went through. He wants to make sure that people know what a monster this guy is. It's not about getting compensation from him. He probably doesn't have very much that we're going to get.
Again, we made several attempts to reach Vega and his attorney for a response to these allegations. At this point, no criminal charges have been filed against him. We also reached out to CPS for a statement, but are still waiting for a response. Doe originally filed this civil suit back in 2019.
The mayor wanted to have his budget approved this week, but City Council had a different idea. Members of City Council's Finance Committee voted down the mayor's controversial employee head tax today by a wide 25-10 vote. It was part of a vote on the mayor's entire revenue package, which included, by our count, more than 20 different taxes and fees going up. But these 25 alders made it clear there will be no tax hikes unless there are more spending reductions.
Ask them if they support raising property taxes in Inglewood and North Lawndale. Ask them if they support collecting a grocery tax. Ask them that. If you ask me, I guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you no, because I believe in being straight up with the people of the city of Chicago. There are 2 options here. We challenge these big corporations and the ultra-rich to put more skin in the game, or you ask people who are standing in line for bread, milk, and food and clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game.
Now, that's a frustrated Mayor Johnson after this vote today, saying, well, alders, if you have better ideas than the ones I proposed, come and talk to me. Now, it came today after furious budget changes at the last minute, arm twisting, backroom meetings, and it comes as Cook County property tax owners, as you see there, are opening their bills, and residential homeowners on the south and west sides are seeing historically large increases, partly due to a decline in values in the loop. So that means everyone else has to make up the difference. But Mayor Johnson says it's further reason not to propose any city property tax. The alders that voted no today say, well, they got ideas.
I want to make perfectly clear that this committee right here is willing and able to stand and work with the mayor to come up with a balanced budget. The notion that we are not bringing ideas to the forefront is a farce. We are willing and able, anytime, anywhere, we will meet to help pass a responsible, balanced budget. We just want cuts and efficiencies.
So the mayor today, because of this loss, is calling for a pause on any votes on the budget. Let's regroup, back to the drawing board. He is sticking strong that he wants that employee head tax, but these 25 alders sent a very clear message that that's going to be very difficult to get done. They just have to get this budget passed by the end of December.
Coming up, busting men trying to pick up prostitutes near Midway. NASA speaks out on a mysterious object in the sky. And CM Punk brings the WWE Championship belt to the studio.
Beyond this postcard skyline is a part of Chicago where families say they are desperate for help. A stretch near Midway Airport overrun by open-air prostitution. Some residents now watch sex acts right from their living room windows. I can't make this up. When we went undercover with police as they cracked down on the buyers driving the demand, it's a look inside Chicago's prostitution crisis.
It's 5 in the morning, dude. It's 5 in the morning. Block this drive-through.
July 2024. Shocking images start flooding in to our newsroom, revealing scantily clad, sometimes nude women wandering 47 to 50th Streets near Cicero Avenue. Neighbors showed us exactly what they're living with.
We find used condoms on the curbs.
They were fed up. tired of seeing the prostitutes and the trail of debris they left behind. And despite their complaints, the activity showed no sign of slowing down.
This looks like a traffic highway between 11:30 to 5:30 in the morning. You can't even get in the alley to park your cars.
Just steps away from the constant roar of planes at busy Midway Airport. It's not the sound of jets lifting off that has people losing sleep. It's the parade of cars, headlights flashing like signals, brake lights turning a residential street into a red light district. And then there's the foot traffic, cheeks out and light up shoes dancing under the street lights.
These girls bring their dates into their backyards and just do their business right in somebody's backyard.
It's not just backyards anymore. They're not even trying to hide it. But this resident of 12 years decided to hide his face out of safety concerns.
They've now pushed into the neighborhoods where they're doing their thing and walking in the neighborhoods. So it's not uncommon to see them walking around.
While prostitutes walk the blocks, so do children who call these streets home. This video was captured right in front of a home, showing a female prostitute performing a sex act, bottom out, mooning through a passenger car window, even though it was the crack of dawn. These scenes aren't new. This is illicit activity, and it has been going on for well over a decade.
You got good, hardworking, solid people there that have been in that neighborhood for years and years and are retired, and they see this every day.
Residents say they call Chicago police, but that doesn't stop anything. The calls keep coming. This document from the Office of Emergency Management showing in a 24-hour span starting August 22nd of 2025, 31 calls were made to 911 for prostitution in the neighborhood.
Part of the problem is you get the same answer from CPD saying they're busy, busy, busy. The prostitution issue, to me, should be just important because you're watching the neighborhood fall apart.
From above, you can see what's been haunting Cicero Avenue for years. Just look around. Prostitutes move up and down this neighborhood, moving right into the neighborhood blocks here where we see pimps in cars parked on streets. And from there, the prostitutes move into alleys, even right in front of people's homes. Now, residents tell us that the activity would die down, especially when it gets cold, and when it gets warm, the block is hot all over again.
She's walking up to a black Cadillac on 50th at Cicero facing eastbound.
When Fox 32 Chicago got on the case, it forced the 22nd Ward Alderman Michael Rodriguez and Alderwoman Silvana Tavares of the 23rd Ward to call for backup. We joined the Cook County Sheriff's Police on an undercover sting operation. The mission to drive down demand for sex being sold on the streets.
So, man, do me first. Step out the car. Other side. What do I do?
The undercover officer set up shop in the same area the prostitutes stand in.
To go.
So they just, when they say to go, they just made a deal.
That was the moment undercover deputies say the John agreed to pay for sex, part of a sting we watched unfold at 50th and Cicero Avenue.
So now what we want to do is we want to basically get the officers out of there as quickly as we can. So we don't want to light the area up and deter other people. So we want to clear out of here as quickly as possible. Then we'll get somebody back on the street.
Within minutes, more men took the bait. Day and night, one after another. The sting lasted for over 4 hours. In total, 8 men.
So you want to call your wife, right?
Were taken into custody. I asked Lieutenant Jim Draz with the Cook County Sheriff's Police why not go after the pimps.
A street sting, what we're trying to do is deter buyers of sex. I promise you, we have plenty of things going on where we target pimps too. Right now, it's to basically get the buyers out of here, and hopefully, slow it down and get the residents happy.
After the arrest, cars were searched, towed, before being released. They speak with a victim support specialist with the Cook County Sheriff's Police.
Noticias que hay mucha prostitución, mucha trata de personas.
On the danger of participating in sex trafficking, those detained walk away with a hefty fine.
With the ticket and the tow, you're looking at a couple $1,000s.
That's a lot of money in this economy.
The message is clear. Pay the price and stay away. And if you don't, there are consequences.
You weren't picking up a prostitute today?
No.
This livery driver says he was in the area waiting on travelers to pick up. Instead, he got picked up for solicitation.
No, if I was, she would be in my car. I was not.
Not at all. I'm a livery driver.
Well, it's odd that you're in handcuffs, but you say you weren't looking for a prostitute.
Well, I parked in a parking lot. I literally parked in a parking lot to check my phone for my appointment. And some strange girl came up to me and knocked on my window and said, if you're looking for a date.
Another arrest, another story. But police say they've heard them all.
You hear all sorts of excuses, all sorts of reasons from all different kinds of people. You know, there's not just one type of person that, you know, comes out here, from all different incomes levels.
From 2023 to 2025, the Cook County Sheriff's Office saw a major spike in arrests of Johns, rising from 77 arrests in 2023 to 87 in 2024 and surging to 252 arrests by October 21st of 2025. Residents tired of waiting took their issues right to the top.
They showed me the photographs and videos, like they weren't embellishing anything. I mean, that's literally what was going on. I was like, wow, this is really, really bad.
Under Public Act 98-538, the state of Illinois eliminated the possibility of charging someone with felony prostitution in 2013. The crime is charged as a Class A misdemeanor.
Now the laws have been changed to where you cannot charge them in a way where you can have them in custody for any length of time, and so that has made that a lot more challenging.
The county isn't alone on this. Near the action, the Chicago Police Department is keeping an eye in the sky, monitoring for any prostitution that pops up. CPD and the Cook County Sheriffs will continue unannounced sting operations on the streets.
The more we're out here, the more presence that can be felt. Hopefully it slows it down.
Once a drive-through for desire, now a checkpoint for accountability. Police are flipping the script, turning the red light blue, reclaiming Chicago's streets one block at a time.
They've had enough. They're tired of it. Do it in your backyard. Do it in your backyard.
And we wanted to take a deeper look at the numbers specifically on Cicero Avenue from these stings. In 2023, we know 4 Johns were arrested. 5 females were detained in the year 2024. Even more, 31 Johns arrested, 15 females detained. And in this year, 2025 to date, 12 Johns have been arrested, 8 females detained. All of the women were connected with victim support services and released. The goal here is very clear: more Johns facing consequences and more women getting a path out.
So is it a spaceship? Is it a comet? NASA's been awfully quiet about the interstellar object known as 3I Atlas, likely due to the government shutdown. But today, the agency released new photos.
From the moment it was first spotted in July, it has been the focus of a lot of questions over exactly what it is and where it came from. Well, NASA scientists say these new images show it is in fact a comet that came from interstellar space. That's a region of space between solar systems. That means 3I Atlas originated elsewhere and is just passing through. The object has led to a lot of theories about its origin, including whether it could be an alien spacecraft. NASA put that idea to rest today, saying the object is definitely a comet, albeit a very rare one.
This object is a comet. It looks and behaves like a comet and all evidence points to it being a comet. But this one came from outside the solar system, which makes it fascinating, exciting, and scientifically very important. This is only the 3rd interstellar object like this that humanity has ever found.
Scientists say 3I Atlas has been traveling through space for billions of years and may even be older than our own solar system. It makes its closest approach to Earth 1 month from today, when it will be 170 million miles away, which is about twice the distance between the sun and the Earth.
You can't hear it, but it's some of your walk-up music here that we're playing. After more than 3 decades, WWE is bringing its first premium live event to the United Center. Get excited! The WWE Elimination Chamber for 2026 is just a few months away, and tickets are about to go on sale. So here to talk about the big event is the big guy, the one and only WWE superstar, CM Punk. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here.
What a tremendous introduction. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I mean, we couldn't give you like the actual walk-up, room, but we try to do what we could.
I feel like I have to be in my underwear for that. So, this is much better.
We
for me.
appreciate this.
It's too early for that.
It might be, although it might wake some people up. Okay, so how excited are you about this event coming to Chicago?
I'm born and raised in Chicago, so I'm super excited. We normally do events at Allstate Arena, and that building has its own history. It's my favorite building to perform in, but the United Center is kind of next level. to me, it's walkable. It's better for public transportation. It's, you know, Chicago proper. And being the first event ever held at the United Center was SummerSlam 1994. So we're coming back after that long of a time. We're going to make it special for the fans for sure.
Oh, awesome. Okay, tell me about the hardware that you have right here.
I mean, do you want to try it on for size?
I do.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. Be careful.
No, I'm playing. Oh my goodness.
That's the belt.
This
That's the
is
heavyweight
heavy.
title. Yeah.
Oof, oof. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right.
Yeah, that's what dreams are made of. That's what I dreamed about when I was a little kid. Now here I am. Happy to represent Chicago. Hopefully I'll still have that, and I'll possibly be defending it in the Elimination Chamber come February. But
Who's coming after you?
Everybody.
That's
Everybody.
what I'm talking about.
I just fought 3 people in the green room.
Just to get out here.
That's life.
It was,
yeah.
you know, we had to give you a little warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate it.
United Center, like you said, goes back to 1994 SummerSlam in terms of hosting it. But just tell me what that atmosphere is like. What is the fan energy like?
Oh, it's unmatched. I'm a huge sports fan, so I've luckily seen some of the greatest sports events of the last decade. Yeah. You know, like the Blackhawks dynasty, the Cubs in 2016. Our Bears are doing really good right now. I grew up with the Bulls dynasty, obviously. Yeah. It's like all of that in a rock concert. It sounds kind of corny, but live WWE events are really kind of almost undescribable. You know, because there's not just myself, but there's just rock stars on this roster. You know, like my wife is back, AJ Lee, the women's roster, because you yourself are obviously women. Some of the most kick-ass, badass females.
Can we
on
say that?
television.
I hope I still have a job after this, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think you'll get in trouble. I think if anybody tries to mess with my girl here, you can take it up with the champ.
There we go.
You know, the atmosphere is unlike anything else. It's like I said, you know, you like big blockbuster movies, you like live sports, you like entertainment, you know, you like watching people punch other people in the face. We got a little bit of things for everybody.
Now take me back. You mentioned the Bulls dynasty in the 90s, but in the 90s, you were doing some backyard wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's how I started, yeah. So this is pre-internet, not to date myself or age myself or anything like that. I'm CM Punk, very punk rock. You know, like I equate to me starting on this journey the same way like the Ramones did. Like they just picked up instruments, almost kind of taught themselves. I didn't know there was such thing as wrestling school, you know? So I would just goof around in backyards with my friends, bought my own wrestling ring. And from there, you know, somebody grabbed me and he was like, hey, do you actually want to do this? Do you want to learn? And I was like, what do you mean? There's schools for this?
There's a right way
certainly not
to knock
schools for this. Yeah, and you know, as they say, the rest is history.
Oh, what kind of injuries did you sustain doing it in the backyard?
Luckily, none. I was indestructible. When I was 15 years old, I was indestructible. Yeah, the injuries kind of pile up a little bit later, but you know, we don't have to talk about all that.
Touche. Okay, we do have to ask. There are some rumors about what CM stands for.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you clear that up?
Chicago made.
Boom. There we go, everybody. All right, when can people start buying tickets?
They can start buying tickets. I believe the pre-sale is today. General is tomorrow, and you know, I think that's it, right, Izzy? That's how professional I am. I'm just throwing it to you now. Did I get that right?
She says yes. Yeah. Okay, so we want everybody to make sure you are in the building because this sounds like it's going to be the place to be. Thank 100%. You so much for being here.
Thanks
are you
going
to leave this for me?
No, I cannot do that. No, that is my responsibility. I fight people for that, so.
Well.
Coming up, the #1 Chicago Bears prep for the Steelers. Governor Pritzker meets the Pope at the Vatican. And our drone team flies through illuminations.
The Bears are ready to take on the Steelers this Sunday.
The Monsters of the Midway hold the #1 spot in the NFC North, but can they stay there? Lou Canellis is here this morning to talk about what the Bears have to do, and let's just get right to it. The elephant in the room, Aaron Rodgers. He's going to play, isn't he?
I think he will. I think he's too much of a competitor to sit this one out. He practiced yesterday, didn't practice a lot. Had something on his left wrist to stabilize the left wrist. That's where the fracture is.
It's a spiked club, isn't it?
Yeah,
that he's wearing on his left wrist.
But you know, listen, at 41 years old, the guy is just still solid out there. He's not putting up the numbers he did, you know, in his prime during his 4 MVP-type seasons. But I can tell you this, the Bears were a 1.5 favorite, right? Now it's 2.5 because of Aaron Rodgers and whether he's going to play or not. Used to be a time when Aaron Rodgers would affect the line by like a touchdown.
Yeah, a lot of
So
plays.
he's not the same quarterback that he once was. Everyone in Chicago wants to see him play because everyone plans on the Bears knocking off Aaron Rodgers finally and sending home the Pittsburgh Steelers with a loss. I'm not so confident about that, and here's why, guys. The Bears may be without all 3 linebackers. All right, TJ Edwards has been out. He has had an injury with his hand, and he's had a hamstring injury. And now Tremaine Edmonds, who has been terrific. He's having his best season as a Bear, 3 years with the Bears when he came over from Buffalo as a free agent. Tremaine Edmonds probably won't play, hasn't practiced all week. And Noah Sewell, who's been a backup, may sit out as well. So the Bears would be going with Ruben Hippolyte, who's a rookie, and DeMarco Jackson, who they picked up on waivers, who played for a cup of coffee with Dennis Allen in New Orleans. That's a big worry for me when you're talking about going against a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers.
With the already depleted secondary.
Yeah, well, speaking of the secondary, Jalen Johnson.
Well, you could have
participant in
Jalen
practice.
Johnson back. I mean, he had a full practice the other day. I still think that it may take a full week of full practices for Jalen Johnson to get into game shape.
Right.
Because he hasn't been on the football field, Brian, since the beginning of the season.
The Detroit game.
All right, so the last thing you want to do is bring Jalen Johnson back too early. He's not ready, and now you lose him for those final 6 games that will decide whether you're in or out of the playoff party.
Pittsburgh's defense, particularly pass defense, it's last in the league, and they do particularly poorly defending the tight end. Are we going to get a healthy dose of 84 and 85?
I do think we will. I mean, we've seen a lot of Colston Loveland lately. We've seen Cole Kmet have arguably his best game as a Bear last week against Minnesota. Even Durham Smythe got had 3 catches in that football game. Smythe is a guy who's predominantly in the 3 tight end set to help block against that Vikings pass rush. By the way, Pittsburgh with a pretty good pass rush as well, with T.J. Watt leading the way. I think they'll use the tight end. I think they will run the football. All right? I think this is going to be a real physical game, and whoever out-physicals the other team is going to win this football game.
Speaking of if we get a win, that would be 4 in a row. Second time this season. Ben Johnson says he doesn't want to hear about the playoffs. Will that change with a win?
Well, I'm here to tell you that at 7-3, they better get into the playoffs. That would be just an awful collapse, the final 7 games. They have put themselves in a position right now, and I get it. The schedule is significantly tougher, these final 7 games. But look at what happened to Buffalo last night, guys.
Oh, yeah, they got
Look at what
dominated.
happened to the Packers against Carolina. They've lost to the Browns. They almost lost to the Giants last week. The Lions' offense does not look good with Dan Campbell calling the plays. Parity has hit the NFL in a big way. So I get it. Those last 7 games on paper look really tough for this Bears team. They should win 3 of their final 7 games. Even if it doesn't happen Sunday against Pittsburgh, they should still win 3 of those final 6 games. I'll leave you with this. The Steelers are 1-12 at Soldier Field historically against the Bears.
I'm glad he brought that up. Yeah.
The first game at Soldier Field, 1971, September 19th, Bears-Steelers. Bears beat Terry Bradshaw.
Was this Bobby Douglas
and the
at QB,
Pittsburgh
or who was
Steelers back then, 17-15.
Who was our QB in that
I
game?
don't even remember. I think Abe Gibran was head coach.
That was the one game he won?
Yes, exactly. So don't ask me who's going to win this game on Sunday. Because
Hey, Lou, who's going to win this game on Sunday?
I'm not going there.
Not going?
Sorry.
There was one more notable Chicago area resident that met with the Pope today. More on that in a minute. But beyond the pomp and circumstance of today's meeting between Governor Pritzker and Pope Leo at the Vatican, the two did get down to brass tacks on the issue of immigration. Now, Pritzker and his wife, MK, met with Leo to talk about the conditions on the ground during Operation Midway Blitz. Pritzker's office said the Pope expressed relief that the operations had at least temporarily ramped down and gratitude to Chicagoans who stood up for any abuses. Now that it was time for gifts. The First Lady presenting the Pope with a drawing from an inmate at the Logan Correctional Facility, and of course a 4-pack of the Pope beer given to the Pope along with a book here. That beer is brewed here by Burning Bush Brewery. Now the governor then said to the Pope, why not come home?
To come to Chicago.
Thank you very much.
From me and from my wife, and we look forward to welcoming you sometime.
Now, the meeting was arranged by Chicago Archbishop Cardinal Blaise Cupich. Comes as Pope Leo has been more outspoken about the immigration enforcement operations in the United States. He told reporters last night he understands the nation has immigration laws to enforce, but he believes they should go about it in a more humane way, especially when it involves people who have been here for many years.
We have to look for ways of treating people humanely, treating people with the dignity that they have. If people are in the United States illegally, there are ways to treat that. There are courts. There's a system of justice. I think there are a lot of problems in the system. No one has said that the United States should have open borders. I think every country has a right to determine who and how and when people enter. But when people are living good lives, and many of them for 10, 15, 20 years, to treat them in a way that is extremely disrespectful, to say the least, and there's been some violence, unfortunately. I think that the bishops have been very clear in what they said, and I think that I would just invite all people in the United States to listen to them.
Now, Pritzker wasn't the only Chicago area figure that met with the Pope. Here is White Sox shareholder and future owner Justin Ishbia. He will take over the team when Reinsdorf steps down. He met with the Pope at the Vatican today. He gave him a White Sox jersey signed by the 2005 World Series championship team and invited the Pope to come throw out the first pitch at right field. Spokesperson for Ishbia says the Pope expressed interest in that idea. And we're told, Sylvia and Tia, that it was just a coincidence that those two were meeting with the Pope at the Vatican on the same day. Just happened that they arranged that, Ishbia and Governor Pritzker. It was not a joint meeting.
Roblox is announcing new protections for young users on its platform. The San Mateo-based company says any user who wants to use text or voice chat on that platform will have to have their age verified. Now, part of those age checks will be done using AI technology, which will be able to estimate how old someone is by looking at a picture or video of their face. Young users will be matched into so-called age bins so they can only speak to people verified in their same age range.
When we think about age checking and sort of who can talk to who, we think of it really in sort of elementary school buckets. So middle schoolers can talk to middle schoolers and high schoolers can talk to high schoolers, but not outside of those buckets. Safety is an industry-wide problem. Kids are not just on one app, they're on all of the apps. And so we can make Roblox as safe as we can, but to really keep kids safe, we need the whole industry to get behind this.
Roblox has more than 150 million users around the world, and about a third of them are under the age of 13. It's facing lawsuits in several states and from families who accuse the company of not doing enough to protect children from predators who use the platform's chat function. Roblox says the new age verification requirements to use the chat function will go into effect next month.
Illumination, tree lights at Morton Arboretum. They've opened up for the season.
Excited about this. It features dazzling light displays, music, and new animal sculptures. Fox 32 photojournalist Alex Levitch gives us a look.
Illumination is going into its 13th year. It's one of Chicago's most beloved holiday traditions here at the Morton Arboretum, and we have 20 immersive light displays over a 1-mile ADA accessible walking path. It's a great way to spend time out in nature at this time of year, just kind of looking at the beauty of trees in the winter season.
We want our guests to come out and experience nature in a way they haven't seen it before, and to enjoy nature at the holidays, and also to just slow down. This is an opportunity to enjoy the holidays at a different kind of pace. We want people to enjoy the trail, stop for some hot chocolate, enjoy one of the fire pits, and really make an evening of it here at the Morton Arboretum.
This year we have our Vivid Creatures, which is our art exhibition. They are beautiful, colorful, gigantic animal sculptures, and you get to see them in a different light.
What we wanted to do was make the trees the real stars of our show, not just a frame to hold up lights, but to reveal the beauty of nature in the winter in different ways. What does the bark on this tree look like? What does the trunk of this tree look like? What does the canopy of this tree look like? And just explore that vocabulary using light and the celebration of the holidays.
I'm sold. I got to get there. That's amazing. I did zoo lights last year.
That's good.
Now I got to do the Morton Arboretum.
Coming up, it's not a cat. So what is it at Brookfield Zoo? What not to feed your dog on Thanksgiving? And Sanders Barbecue puts Thanksgiving on the grill.
It's one of the great mysteries here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, an animal that looks like a cat, but it's not a cat. President and CEO Dr. Mike is here to introduce us to the genet.
So Isa, our 13-year-old small spotted genet, is a really fascinating animal. It's one that we saw when we were filming a different segment in here, and she was out and real active, and we thought that she'd be a great animal to showcase just because people aren't really familiar with them.
And, you know, my coworkers love the serval, and she has kind of similar coloring, but a little girl walked up and said, "Look, it's a kitty," and it's not a cat.
It's not, yeah. So similar in some ways. They're in a family called the Viveridae family, which is the same family as binturongs, which is another animal that we've got here at
And
Fragile
people probably
Kingdom.
have no idea what that is if they didn't see the segment.
That's probably true. That's probably also
a lot of
true.
unknowns, yes.
But just a medium-sized carnivore. That family is found in Africa, Southeast Asia. It's a lot of nocturnal animals. Small carnivores, and the genets are found throughout Africa, and really just are an animal that's really, you know, just unknown to most people, and they really are a fascinating little small predator species that plays a really important role in the ecosystem.
And talk more about that.
Yeah, so they eat a lot of different types of animals, small birds, mammals, lizards, insects, and really just are a really important animal at kind of that small carnivore size to keep those smaller populations in balance.
They're so fast too. What is their status in the wild?
So they're not highly threatened in the wild. They are hunted for meat and for their fur, but populations are fairly stable right now. But they're a really fascinating carnivore in that a lot of them are nocturnal, and they've got those big eyes. They've got the ability to really navigate well in a dark setting. They've got that long tail for balance, and to your point, they move really quickly, retractable claws like a cat, but are able to very quickly climb up and down, you know, a tree and really just move through the environment with great speed and ease. And they inhabit a range up to a couple hundred acres. So, you know, and think of Brookfield Zoo, you know, it's sort of the home range of, you know, one genet in the wild.
That is really incredible. And see, you've learned something new that you can impress your coworkers with here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
Welcome back. Thanksgiving, of course, is about sharing, but a well-intentioned scrap of food from Thanksgiving dinner can turn into a dangerous situation for our pets. Veterinarian and pet wellness expert Dr. Gary Richter is here to break down the foods that our furry friends need to keep their paws off of this Thanksgiving. Dr. Richter, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it, sir.
You bet.
Okay, so first of all, what foods should concern us the most here?
Sure. So, you know, I mean, when it comes to Thanksgiving food and people food in general, actually, most foods are okay for dogs, but it's really important to understand the ones that are not. So there are foods that are just flat out toxic to dogs. So things like onions, grapes, raisins, macadamia nuts. If there's somebody in the house that's making sort of sugar-free desserts, artificial sweeteners can actually be quite toxic to dogs. The other thing to be careful about is anything that's high in fat or heavily seasoned is potentially going to cause tummy upset.
Okay, got it. Okay, you mentioned tummy upset. What kinds of other conditions do these things lead to? You mentioned a bunch of them are toxic.
Sure. So, you know, in the more toxicity sense, for example, chocolate can cause heart arrhythmias. It can cause seizures. It can, in extreme cases, it can be fatal. Artificial sweeteners like xylitol will cause low blood sugar in dogs to the point where that can also be fatal.
Oh, yikes. Okay. Well, what Thanksgiving foods do pet parents most often assume to be safe to share and, you know, throw a scrap on the floor, but can actually be dangerous?
Sure. You know, I think what most people would say is, oh, well, let me give them a little turkey. Let me give them some of these vegetables. And you know what? The turkey and the vegetables are fine, but it's that high fat or heavily seasoned turkey skin. It's the vegetables that were cooked in a whole mess of butter and salt. That kind of stuff can lead to tummy upset, vomiting, diarrhea, what have you.
Okay. Let's just say a dog accidentally gets into something they shouldn't during the meal.
Sure.
What is the protocol at that point?
Well, I mean, if it's something that's just kind of a mild tummy upset, then really, I mean, it's just kind of a waited out sort of thing. But if it seems worse than that, certainly if you feel like your dog may have gotten into anything that's actually toxic, if your dog may have eaten turkey bones, then it's time to call your veterinarian and get some professional help and make sure that we keep your pet safe.
Okay. A lot of families, you know, the dog is an immediate family member. You know, it's not like you want to put the dog away the whole celebration. So you have any suggestions in terms of just safe, dog-friendly ways that families can incorporate their pooches into the whole celebration without putting them at risk?
Oh, yeah, you bet. I mean, some of the easiest ways to do that is, like I say, a lot of the food on the Thanksgiving table actually is fine. So if you're making food, you know, so set aside some roasted turkey that's unseasoned, no skins. Set aside some of the vegetables, boiled or steamed vegetables, with you know, no butter, no salt, what have you. You can feed them a little bit of that, or you can give them something that's actually made for a dog. So, for example, my company, Ultimate Pet Nutrition, makes freeze-dried dog treats and dog food, and you can just give that, and they love it, and they feel like they're still part of the holiday.
Things are about to get lit downtown. Jake is back with another preview of Chicago's Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Hey, Jake.
That's right, guys. All of Millennium Park is gearing up and getting ready for Christmas, for the holiday season, and it all kicks off today. Take a look behind me. It's official. It's open. The McCormick Tribune Ice Rink is open today. It runs through February of 2026. Of course, always weather permitting, so you want to check and make sure if there's a little bit of bad weather in the area. Of course, this is our favorite price. It's free. You can come out here and enjoy it, but you do have to go online and make a reservation. And it's kind of perfect that it's opening today, guys, because as you know, there's something else happening today out here at Millennium Park. The 112th annual tree lighting ceremony is taking place. Take a look at that beauty. That is a 68-foot Norway spruce. Comes in from Glenview, donated generously by the Mason family. That thing is going to be lit at about 6:25 later today. There's going to be a pre-show starting at 5. The mayor's going to be on hand for some remarks. Let me give you just some stats on how impressive this tree is and what it's going to look like a little bit later. There's about 185 lit spheres on this thing, 1,200 strings of lights. What that means is that's 119,000 LED lights along that tree. That means if you stretched out all of the Christmas lights along that tree, guys, it's going 8 miles. 8 miles from start to finish. In addition to the ice skating, in addition to the tree, if it weren't enough, take a look over there. You can kind of see it. There's actually going to be a Millennium Park holiday market. That's happening just this weekend. It's at the Chase Promenade North area of the park. It's happening today through Sunday. Once again, it's all free. Whether you want to visit the holiday market, whether you want to come out to the tree lighting ceremony, of course, take into account some of the roads that are going to be blocked off, Michigan Avenue, Randolph Monroe. It's going to affect traffic. Or whether you want to lace up some skates, and come out here and join these very talented folks. Plenty to do out here at Millennium Park as we gear up for the holidays, and we toss it back to you guys.
All right, well, we got James, we got Obana, we got Ivan over there manning the grill there. Let's talk about Sanders Barbecue. First of all, you guys are located in Beverly.
Yes, 1742 West 99th Street.
All right, what's the key to your success about it?
Just high-end, elevated craft meats, and we make everything from scratch. We put a lot of time and love into the food.
You got to do it. It's not just the amount of time on the grill; it's the amount of love you're putting into it.
It's the amount of love, the amount of love. So you can taste a lot of flavors, and you can taste the patience that we put into the meats and the sides.
All right, James, whose idea was it to say, I think I want to open up a barbecue place? Is this your brainchild?
Actually, both of ours.
Okay.
We are both foodies. We used to always talk about food, and we're doing restaurants together. And we just kind of came up, we felt like the South Side kind of desired a craft barbecue restaurant. And I think we've kind of did it well with it. So I think it's going great with it.
Well, why don't you point out some of the items that you've got here, James, and let's work from this side down.
So this is our peach tea smoked wing. It was voted #1 wing in Chicago. So what we do is brine it in peach tea for 24 hours, and we smoke it. And we make a peach sauce, like a bourbon sauce that goes on top of it.
And that glaze just looks absolutely fantastic. I can only imagine how good it tastes.
It is.
Unless I taste it.
You have to taste it. You have to taste it. This is some of our items we're doing for Thanksgiving. We have the maple glazed ham, and we're also doing smoked turkey legs. So we're going to do catering for Thanksgiving. We'll take care of you guys.
Now, do you also do the whole turkey too, or is it only turkey
as well? Turkey breast, the whole turkey, as well as turkey wings.
How much lead time do we need to give Sanders Barbecue to get that order ready for pickup?
That's a good question. Monday is the last day to place orders.
Okay.
Because we have a ton of orders, and we just want to make sure order online as well. And then Monday be the last day, but hopefully, we get everyone's last order and go from there.
This has been your Fuck Chicago Week in Review. See you next week.